Good morning, everyone. How has your first week of 2022 been? Did you, like a lot of us, spend a considerable amount of time pondering on your future and what you want to get out of 2022? I can only assume that a lot of us have gone through 2 grueling years and we're probably all now at the point of defiance in the face of adversity. I know I definitely am. For me, I'm like, COVID, leave us alone. We have lives to live. You're causing an unwanted disruption. But saying that, I'm still going to continue wearing my mask, washing my hands, sanitizing regularly, and doing everything I need to do to stay safe. So you need to do the same. However, I'm going to be grabbing 2022 by its horns and making it count. But to do this successfully, I know I need help. And luckily, there are a myriad of tools at my disposal, from family and friends, to counselors, therapists, life coaches, to courses on Udemy or Coursera or any of the other online tools out there right now. And the most amazing part of this is all through the month of January, all my guests are professionals at helping people be the very best versions of themselves. And my guest today is no different. Femi Abegunde, I hope I pronounced his surname correctly, is a life strategist, management consultant, and peak performance coach who works with individuals and organizations to transition them from where they are to where they yearn to be. And as a certified peak performance and life coach with years of experience in emotional intelligence, leadership development, strategy, execution, and human capital development, he helps individuals find answers to their most pressing questions, gain self-awareness, find their passion, fill their inner vacuums, like a lot of us have, and create their desired haven with lucidity, tenacity, and the courage required to achieve success. And get this, guys, he's also an author of over 15 books. From books like The Power Dimension, Built to Stand, The Nonsense Called Success, The Energy of an Ex-Partner, and most recently, Street Sense for Church Boys. I love the titles of his books. I wonder who. I'm going to ask him in a few seconds. So, welcome, Femi.
Thank you, Feran. It's nice to be here.
It really is an honor to have you and all these books. Please first, where did you get your titles from?
My titles comes from, one, inspiration. Two, I check the pulse of the people I'm sent to. And when I look at the people I'm sent to, I ask myself a question: what's going to resonate with them? With them. And for example, Street Sense for Church Boys. Actually, I pondered and I checked that there's a lot of church boy, good boys, who don't get the good seats. And I said to myself, why is it that good people don't get good seats? Then I found out that it's not by being good. There's some certain street sense that if you don't have, no matter how good you are, you can't get a good seat.
I love it. I think I'm going to be coming to you. I'm going to tell the producer to come to you for catchy topics for different segments. But yeah, so today we're talking about connecting the dots between purpose and goals.
Yeah.
Earlier on, my colleague Helen and her guest had talked about finding purpose and what is purpose.
Yeah.
Now we're taking it to the next part, which is, okay, you found your purpose. How do you connect it to your goals?
All right.
Yeah? And my very first question is, are purpose and goals connected? But before you even answer that, can you very quickly tell us what purpose is for those viewers who've just tuned in? All
right. First, what is purpose? Purpose is, I'll call it the original intent in the mind of the manufacturer. Purpose is the why that created who you are. I would say purpose is the why behind the how and the who.
Purpose is the why behind the how and the who.
The who is your identity.
Okay.
The how could be your goal or your strategy.
Okay.
But the why actually is the original intent in the mind of the manufacturer that led to your existence.
I see. So what's the connection between purpose and goals?
Purpose is divine construct. Goal is human construct. Goal is a roadmap that leads you on the journey of your purpose. Now, I know I'm created for a reason, but that is not the essence of my creation. I'm created to do something.
Okay.
Now, goal is now the roadmap to me doing it. So I found people who would cry and say, I found my purpose, I found my purpose. What next? So it's not just in the haha moment that, yes, this is why I'm created. But the essence is, I found why I've been made, why I was created. The next thing should be, what are the things I'm supposed to do? So goals are roadmaps that give you milestones that at this level, you should be doing this. At that level, you should be doing this. So goals are human constructs, but they help you actualize your purpose.
Okay, let me take you back. You said purpose is divine construct.
Yeah.
What if you don't believe in divinity?
Now, okay, that's a fantastic question. Purpose has nothing to do with religion.
Okay.
Purpose has to do with you understanding that you were created for a purpose.
You were created by whom?
By your manufacturer. Your
Who's
manufacturer
your manufacturer?
now, that's what I'm going to. Your manufacturer now depends on whatever you believe.
Okay. So it could be science.
Now, okay, you're taking me to a different terrain now. Now, you are too loaded, you're too unique to be a product of a big bang. Because your individuality shows that you are a product of an intelligent being. For example, look at your thumb. We have about 7 billion people on Earth. Nobody has the same thing like yours.
That's why
that is not a mass production.
Okay. I just opened a can of worms, but yes, you've said something very pungent. Created by intelligent beings. Okay, so let me just reel it back in.
All right.
Purpose versus goals. So, purpose, your divine
is a divine construct.
And your goals, man-made construct.
Yeah.
So your goals are the roadmap
Yeah.
to achieving your purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. What if you don't know your purpose?
If you don't know your purpose, number one, you'll be setting goals to fill an emptiness. Because when you walk in purpose, the who, your identity, finds expression, is empowered. Okay. But when you don't know your purpose, but you just want to set goals, sometimes you pick your goals from the environment.
Okay.
You pick your goals from what your friends are doing.
Okay.
You pick your goals from trends. And you just want to do things because people are doing it. And as you go out and try to do it, there's still a bit of emptiness inside of you. And that is why you find some people who have achieved what you dream to achieve, but yet they look at you and say, I'm empty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when there's no alignment
sense.
between goal and purpose, number one, the who suffers.
Because there's still that void.
That's it. So that is why purpose for me is like a foundation. The goal are the building blocks you put on it. So when you know your purpose, it's easier for you to find alignment between your goals and values.
It makes absolute sense. It really does, because sometimes we look at all these celebrities that we follow and we aspire to be like them, particularly the really rich ones, all over the world, and we wonder why they seem to have problems in their lives. Some of them go through lots of adversity, and we wonder why. But that's because even though they're doing really well, they haven't found their purpose.
True.
So you can be the richest man on the face of the earth, or woman, but still be void of purpose.
True. And I can give you an example.
Yes.
There's a man I'm coaching, name withheld. He's a multi-millionaire in dollars. In our conversation, I found that making money was easier for him because of the background. He came from a background where they do business. So they know I can turn this into money. He has several cars. But as having a conversation, I discovered this guy's empty. All the things he was acquiring was to fill a void. But the void could not be filled because only purpose could fill that void. I tell people, in my book, The Nonsense Called Success, I actually said in the book that success actually means fulfillment of purpose. Any other thing is a commentary.
Success means the fulfillment of purpose.
Your purpose. Any other thing is a commentary.
Is a commentary.
It's a commentary.
Okay, so how do you find your purpose?
How do you find your purpose? We'll go back to the conversation we ran away from. One, ask your manufacturer, whoever your manufacturer is. That's number one. Number two, you can do an internal audit.
Okay.
What do you cry for? What are you passionate about? What makes you cry? What gets you excited? I've asked you several questions now. Yes. What makes you cry? That's one. That's an internal audit. You can do what I call a background check on yourself. Growing up, when you knew you could never fail, what were you dreaming about?
Before failure came to the forefront.
Before you were conditioned
Yes.
to understand that there's something called failure. What were you dreaming about? What were you so eager to do when you were very young?
Me personally, I wanted to become a musician. I wanted to sing in Broadway musicals.
When did you drop that dream?
When my voice stopped being as good as it was.
Who told you your voice wasn't good?
I guess people around me, maybe, or even myself.
You said it to yourself because you compared yourself with the voice you had
I guess so.
that you thought was better. But what you forgot actually in music, there are different voices.
Eureka moment. Okay, I'm going back to my question. Eureka moment. Okay, so purpose we know is a fixed construct.
I'll say yes and no.
Okay, how so?
It's fixed in the mind of your manufacturer. But the understanding of your purpose is not fixed. Because it's like onions. We keep on wrapping it. We keep on wrapping it. When you feel that now I know everything about my purpose, then suddenly something jumps at you. I've not felt this part. I don't understand this part. It's like you buying a remote control, a TV with a remote control. And because we don't read the manual, all we know is play, stop, fast forward, rewind, power. That's all we know. But we don't know the TV can give us a Tata effect. Because we never read the manual. Those are the only buttons we know. But the day we sit down with the manual and say, okay, what can this remote control really do? They begin to say, wow, so I can have a cinema effect in my house. This TV can give me this. But everything has been fixed in that remote, but you never knew it. Because knowledge is progressive. The more you know about your purpose, the more you get to understand there's so much about you you've never touched.
So how do you begin to peel the layers of the onion?
How do you do that? Now we can go to goal setting now.
Yes.
Now when it comes to goal setting, there are three angles you need to understand. There is a being goal, there is a doing goal, and there's an having goal.
Being goal, doing goal,
And
having goal.
Most of the time, we set goals around having.
Okay.
I just want to possess. I want to buy a car this year. I just want to build a house this year. I want to have. That's most of our goals. But we barely set goals around being, around becoming. I want to become a better version of myself. I want to invest in understanding who I am and who I've been created to be. When I began to set some goals around that area, for example, 4 years ago, I sat down and I said, you know what? I want to demystify Femi. Who is Femi? Why was Femi created? Then I sat down and I started asking myself some questions. I went to Midland Roller Shoulder, my coach, and I said, let's have a conversation. I sat down and I did about 40 slides on who Femi is. By that time, I said to myself, you know what, boy? You ain't started yet. You ain't started yet. So you need to start having being goals. Where is that saying to yourself, I want to understand me? You're a product. But most of the time, we don't see ourselves that way. You're a product. And until you understand the product, you can't get the benefits. The functionality of a product is in you understanding what the product is all about. And most of the time, we don't spend time understanding who we are. We just want to have. We just want to have.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Oh my God. Being goals, having goals, and doing goals. Wow. Wow. Okay, so if I was, how do I then, it's 2022. It's been a crazy 2 years. Yeah. You've dropped some bombshells. And these things are very basic. But you're right. A lot of the times we run away from self-knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, so you're 100% right. But how do we get back to that place of embracing self-knowledge?
First is to know and acknowledge that you're running away from yourself. Because most of the time, people don't acknowledge that.
Yeah.
We don't acknowledge that. Sometimes we run away from ourselves and we invest in gadgets that will take most of our time, that will actually, I call them fillers. We just want to fill up some vacuum in us. So that's why some people get into drugs, get into addictions, and they just want to fill up the vacuum, fill up the vacuum, fill up the vacuum. First is strip yourself of everything apart from you and ask yourself a question. Who is this person? Strip yourself of all the roles you occupy, because sometimes titles actually, they're like, I don't want to use a wrong word. Sometimes titles are things we use to cover up. They're like sheets. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a wife. I'm an author. No, you are more than your roles. Strip yourself of all the roles and ask yourself a question: who's this guy?
And once you've done that, how do you then align your purpose to your goals such that they are actually in alignment and not in misalignment?
When I've defined the who, I know the why. The next question I ask myself is, what is my assignment? Then my goals are actually going to be in alignment with my assignment.
Your assignment being your purpose.
My assignment being my purpose.
Okay.
It will be in alignment with my purpose.
Let me interrupt you very quickly.
All right.
What are the other words for purpose? Because sometimes that word purpose, it becomes so heavy that's, you know.
Why?
The why.
The why.
The assignment.
The assignment. The intent.
The intent.
The thought behind your creation.
The desire.
The message you were given to imprint on earth. Your spot in life.
Your X factor. Maybe?
It can, yeah.
Can?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to aligning the two.
So how to align purpose and goals?
Goals, yes.
First, find the purpose. Why did my manufacturer make me or made me? That's the first one. The second thing is, now, what are the functionality of my purpose? In my book, The Tools for the Journey, I talked about purpose there. And I saw a very funny image on Instagram, where a WC lead was transported to an African country that will be nameless. But these people, they've never seen a WC before.
Toilet.
Yeah.
Right.
So this guy put a plate, then put a WC around the plates, then opened the lid and was eating from it.
Was eaten from the toilet?
No, from the toilet lid.
Okay, the toilet cover.
Yeah, was eaten from it.
Okay.
And they took a picture of him doing that.
Okay.
And it felt cool.
Because they'd never seen a toilet before.
They never did.
So the toilet was out of purpose.
It was out of purpose, exactly. But this guy, they took a picture of him doing that. It was a comedy skit. It was real.
Yeah, it was for real, yeah.
He was excited.
Yeah.
But he never knew the purpose of what he was using. He was excited eating. And I was saying to myself, the words of Miles Monroe, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. When you don't know the purpose of a thing, you abuse it. And abuse simply means abnormal use.
Yeah, but abuse is not necessarily a bad thing, because in that situation, nobody taught them.
No.
So they didn't have knowledge.
No, I didn't say it's a bad thing. It's an abuse simply means abnormal use.
Abnormal use.
It could be a passive abnormal use, and it could be an active active abnormal use. In this guy's scenario, it was a passive one. It's like me buying a Ferrari and riding into my bedroom and saying to myself, I just want to feel cool.
Or buying a Ferrari and driving on road with lots of potholes.
You're going somewhere. You're going somewhere. It's an abnormal use. Why? Because purpose is meant to be used.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be used to set your goals.
So what if you are still trying to figure it out?
Yeah.
But you still need to live life. And you still need to set your goals. Is there like a roundabout way of doing this and still succeeding?
I would say finding your purpose is not as hard as people make it look like. I'm serious.
Okay.
I just feel we live in a world where if it's not hard, we think it's not right. And I kind of, I get angry when I see this. I tell people, to listen, telling me how much you sweat to get the right thing. It's not a testimony. It's not. So because, no, find your purpose, you will lock yourself up in a room. You pray. No, calm down. It's not always that way. It's not always that way. Yeah, finding your purpose could just be you asking yourself a question. Really? If I'm 90 years old today and I want to look back in my life and say I did something right and I'm willing and ready to die, what would that thing be?
That sounds like somebody who had, like what somebody told me, I think last year, and they said to me, write your eulogy or write your will.
Yeah.
Yeah, write your eulogy. And apparently they write their eulogy every year or every 2 years, and they use that as their manifesto.
It's as simple as that. I'm serious. So it's not always, no. It's not always that way. And the truth is, like I told you, in the mind of the manufacturer, purpose is fixed. But in the mind of we, the product, is not fixed. It's
Because
based on our understanding of it.
Yeah.
We keep opening it. Because if you know everything you were born to do from the age of 0 to the day you die, you will die immediately.
True.
Because the human brain cannot contain it.
True. So that's what's called the journey of life.
That's it. So it's you just unraveling it. As you unravel it, walking it. As you unravel it, walking, because the biggest distance in the world is between knowing and doing.
Femi, we're running out of time. This conversation can go on forever because this is deep. So let's simplify.
All right.
Yeah? I'm just understanding purpose in a different way.
All right.
Yes. I've taken a lot of nuggets from what you've said. I want 2022 to be my best year yet. Yes. What are the 3 things you would tell me to do to connect my purpose to my goals?
All right. I'll call it the HFO.
HFO.
H talks about hindsight. Evaluate where you're coming from.
Is it A or H?
H.
H.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evaluate where you're coming from. Gain some wisdom from where you're coming from. Because life is a continuum. You can't just pick 2022 out of nowhere and say it's a new year, I agree. But it's new because there was an hold.
Yes.
And because there's an hold, there's some things you did in 2021, in 2020, that can actually help you find your success model and your failure model.
Yes.
So say to yourself, what did life teach me in 2021, in 2020, in 2019?
Yes.
What did life teach me? Because if life didn't bless you, it taught you a lesson.
Yes.
So what did you learn?
Yes.
So find out what worked in the past. Because sometimes in life, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So what worked in the past? So get that done. That's the H. The F talks about foresight. Now, you ask yourself some questions. What is the climate around 2022? Because you can't tell me all the clothes I have in my house is for summer. And it's winter. You're going to freeze. So what is the climate of 2022? You need to know. And you align with it. You don't fight seasons. You align with seasons.
How do you get the climate, though?
Several ways. Ask your manufacturer. Study trends. I study trends. I study trends.
Okay, so studies trends or ask your manufacturer. What's the third one? Because they're telling me time up.
All right. And the last one is on-site, which is action.
On
you need to
site.
start doing some stuff. What do you do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually? Because your secret is your daily routine.
Your secret is in your daily routine.
If you know all these things but you don't do anything, you get no results.
Yes.
Action. Act simply means action changes things.
Action changes things.
So you need to act.
So you need to act. So we need to act. And on that note, 25 minutes has gone by super quickly. And I'm like, OMG, I can't wait to watch this back because honestly, there's so much here for me to learn from. And Femi, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so, so much. You've really, really been awesome. And I do have to also say thank you to Lanre Olushola because Lanre has been extremely amazing in helping me find the best guests ever. So thank you so, so much.
You're welcome.
Right, so in a few seconds, Helen and myself, I was going to say John, but John's not here today. Helen and myself will be rounding up the show, girl power and all of that. So just stay with us for a few more seconds whilst we round up the show. Thank you.